Good morning, guys. Today we're going to be looking at some more evidence from Mars and evaluating some claims about our channel on Mars. In order to do that, we're going to be looking closely at Earth, which is why you see me holding a globe here, because we need to get a lot more background information about Earth before we can continue to study Mars. So we're keeping in mind our question for the unit is what formed the channel on Mars, flowing water or flowing lava? From what I saw yesterday, we were pretty split on whether that was formed by lava or water. And then we had a pretty good amount of people too that also said they need more information or more evidence. Hopefully by the end of today, you have a much better idea of what you think it is if you were in that like I need more evidence category. And if you weren't in that category, you'll also get a good idea of what you can actually begin to make your claim as. Our big questions today that we're going to be thinking about, one of them is how does sedimentary rock like conglomerate form? And the other one is how does igneous rock like basalt form? In our article last Friday, we read about the three different types of rock, sedimentary, metamorphic, and igneous, and how they form. Yesterday, in your background information about the triangle-shaped landforms at the bottom of the channels, you also got to read some information about how different types of rock form and what type of rock could make up those different landforms. Your do first, you should have talked about if you had a rover on Mars, what information would you want? A lot of people probably talked about how they would want different pictures from different angles. You could also talk about how you might want to investigate the landforms a little bit more. You might want to have something on your rover that can actually like search for different signs of life, like different chemicals that are available. Some people might have written about how they would want to be able to sample rocks or sample soil or maybe even dig into the earth. These are all things that scientists really enjoy about having a rover there and all things that they choose to do with their rover that is on the surface of Mars. We're going to look a little bit more at a rover later on in another video coming up too with our planetary geologist that we watched in one of our first lessons. So we have new information. All right. Yesterday we talked about this triangle landform that was at the bottom of our channel. Well, today we actually got a picture from the rover of a rock that is located right down here at the very bottom right corner of this photograph. And that rock is going to tell us a lot of information about what maybe formed this channel. So we have a rock, and this is the location, meaning it is definitely in that triangle landform. Yesterday, when you looked at landforms, we know that now both channels formed from water and lava can form a triangle landform at the bottom. So in your exit ticket, you probably should have said something along the lines of like, this isn't really useful yet unless I know what this landform is made of. Just the fact that there's a triangle landform doesn't help me because that could be either lava or water. Well, now we're going to have a rock sample that we can try and figure out what it is made of or how it was made, and that might actually help us figure out what this triangle landform is made of and how it got there. So I have an idea. Before we actually look at our rock or a new piece of evidence, we need to look at some background information. Just looking at a rock isn't going to help us if we have no idea how this rock was formed. So first, we'll look at some samples. You have a sample on the left of conglomerate, which is a sedimentary rock found on Earth. You also have a sample on the right that is basalt, and that is an igneous rock that is found on Earth. And you can see besides the color, they look pretty similar. However, if you really put them under a magnifying glass, you might start to see some differences, and that's what we'll talk about next. Some background information on the different types of rocks. On the left here, we have rock on Earth that is found near channels formed by water. On the right, we have rock on Earth that is found near channels formed by lava. So I'll read our background information, and then you will also have these slides available as you answer the next couple of questions so that you can have this information available to you throughout the lesson. One type of rock found on Earth near channels formed by water is made of many smaller pieces of rock called sediments. As sediment is carried by the flowing water, it becomes round in shape. The rounded sediment is then deposited in a new location. Over time, the collected sediments become pressed and cemented together to form solid rock called conglomerate. The type of rock in this image is made of many different sizes and kinds of sediments, which is why it does not look the same throughout. And then when we talk about rocks on Earth near channels formed by lava, one type of rock found on Earth near channels formed by lava is made of cooled lava. Hot liquid rock, or lava, cools to become solid rock. This solid rock is often black in color and looks the same throughout because it is made of only one hardened lava. Geologists call this type of rock basalt. So there is some background information. We saw with our lava, it was kind of like the wax in our model, where when it cools off, it hardens. a lot of people have pointed out that they're really familiar with obsidian from maybe like Minecraft, where if you have lava or magma and it cools, you get obsidian. So one of the big differences here is that rock formed by lava or magma is going to be solid in color and usually a black color because it's just one substance that's melted together. Almost like if you melted a box of crowns and then mixed them all up, they would become one kind of probably gross looking color. And then when they harden, they would just be that one dark color, where rocks formed by water typically have a whole bunch of different little pieces stuck together, and you can actually see those little pieces in that rock. So what you're going to do on the next two open-ended slides are simply look at this background information again if you need to. It'll be on the actual question slides, and answer these two questions. What did you learn from the background information on the type of rocks formed by water? And then what did you learn from the background information about the type of rocks formed by lava? After that, we'll take a look at our new evidence from Mars, the actual photo of that rock that is found, and see if we can figure out what it was formed by.